Frank, what?
Oh, Ma.
I want you to go to bed.
I am too wound up to sleep, okay?
You know, I really don't understand why Sierra had to call here. And there really isn't anything that you can do for Betsy right now. I'm sure she'll hear from Steve.
Really? I wish I was so sure of that. I'm very concerned about it right now. If I was up to it, I'd go over there right now.
Well, you're not up to it, so forget it, pal.
It's my bright idea that Sierra stay there in the first place, and then Betsy gets a call, and she's upset, so Sierra's upset. She's not in condition to be upset. What?
You really are more concerned about Sierra, aren't you? I really hope that you had gotten over her.
Maybe Steve will call soon.
Why would he just move out of his uncle's house without telling me?
No, what did she say exactly?
She said that he had an argument with his boss and that he quit his job and then he moved out of their house.
Okay, did she say where he was going?
No.
Did she know? Come on, now, Betsy, you know Steve's temper. You know it. Now, he probably just had to run off so he could calm down.
Sierra, he promised me he was going to make good in his job. He told me that he'd find us a decent place to live so Danny and I could come over there in the spring. I've been saving and working so hard and trying to believe that everything was going to be all right. And now I'm just not so sure.
Oh, come on.
I'm really sorry that I asked you to leave Mona Lisa so soon, but with Kim and Bob and the whole family there, I just felt kind of awkward since I turned down their invitation for dinner.
Not to worry. How do you like Easy Street?
It was fun.
Yeah, now you know where all us cops hang out. I know it's not exactly the kind of place that you're used to.
Well, that's why it was fun. Although I did feel a little overdressed.
Hey, you look fantastic. And I have to tell you, you turned a couple of heads when we walked in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to come in for a nightcap?
Yes, I would, but I can't. I've got to be at work really early. In case you're wondering why I didn't ask you earlier up to my place for a drink.
Well, yes, actually, I was wondering.
Well, it's, you see, first of all, I don't have any etchings to show you. And secondly, I'm not much of a housekeeper. Now, I'm going to get this thing cleaned up, and then I'll have you over, okay?
Oh, sounds like a major project.
It's nothing that Federal Aid and National Guard couldn't handle. Hey, you still up for the hockey game?
I'll make you a deal. I'll go see your game if you come to my fashion show.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, I said the wrong thing. Thinking about Denise, aren't you?
A little bit. I'm getting past it, though.
Good, I'm glad.
What about you, McKechnie?
Duncan was never right for me. Too much like James with all of his secrets. I'm just glad I had the good sense to finally put an end to it.
For perfectly selfish reasons, so am I. Good night.
Good night.
I know I've been difficult since you asked me for Beatrice's hand. There's a reason for it. And I'll tell you what it is, but you've got to give me your words. We'll go no further.
I have no intention of making any promises.
You must, or I'll walk out of here right now without another word. I had the same conversation with Thomas Beaton before I gave him my blessings, but not before he promised me, as a Scotsman, that he wouldn't tell another living soul.
All right, you have my word. As a Scotsman.
Sit down. Beatrice isn't my sister.
Not your sister.
She's my daughter.
As the world turns,
This portion brought to you today by Bounty, the quicker picker-upper, and by Spick and Span Pine, the pine with the power to clean faster and leave a fresh scent.
So what do you expect me to do, Ma? You expect me to turn my back on her? The woman's pregnant and she's alone right now.
Craig, I just wish that you could see it from where I stand. I mean, you get one phone call from that girl, and then you get that old look in your
Oh, come on, that's not true. I'm very concerned about her.
But it looks like it's more than that. And if I can see it, I'm sure that Iva would be able to see it if she were here, yeah. Especially when she knows that Sierra's going to
Let me tell you something
divorce Tonio
about
because of
Iva
something
and my
you
relationship,
said.
all right? Iva knows how I feel about Sierra. Sierra and I are friends, and I owe Sierra a great deal.
Craig, you can't be responsible for everybody's happiness. Why don't you worry about your own for a change? Honestly.
Why don't you listen to yourself for a change? Why don't you stop worrying about Margot and Tom and Cricket and me? And, hey, Meg, I've heard a lot about Meg tonight.
Now that's different.
Why is that
It
different?
is different.
Why?
Because I am responsible for Meg. She's living in my home.
Well, maybe you should be worried about her. She's seen that sleaze Tony.
Oh, well, you just go to bed. You have a doctor's appointment in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
And Iva's coming back. Why don't you get some rest, okay?
Good night, Ma. Say goodnight to Casey for me, too, will you?
Good night. Now, what are you doing up?
Oh, I couldn't sleep. I thought I'd make myself some hot cocoa.
All right. Good night.
Good night. I thought you were supposed to be recovering.
Yes, I'm going up to bed in a minute. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I bet you're excited to have Iva come back tomorrow.
Yeah, I miss her.
Yeah, I'm sure she misses you, too.
I hope so. Maybe this time she'll say yes if I ask her to marry me, huh?
You asked her to marry you?
More than once.
Why should she tell her sister?
Meg, come on, knock it off. You don't go around talking about that thing if you turn down a guy. It's out of respect for him.
I guess I'm just surprised she turned you down.
How's your love life?
Oh, I don't know. Keeping it easy, you know.
Look, Meg. Hello. Hi. Hi, Sierra. No. I'm glad you called.
I just thought you'd like to know that Betsy and I had a long talk tonight. She got a lot of her system, and I think she feels a lot better now.
Good.
She's gone to bed now. I hope she'll actually get some sleep.
Any word from Steve?
No.
All right. Look, tell her not to come into the office tomorrow. If Steve's going to call, he'll probably call the cabin.
I'll tell her. I'm sure she'll appreciate that.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. Oh, Smarty, I found out whose idea it was for me to stay here.
Yeah, okay. I've been caught. Well, I just thought that you two keep an eye out on each other, you know. I know that Betsy cares about you about as much as I do.
I never knew she was my child until after my parents had died. And my father's solicitor came to me with a letter my parents had written not to be opened until after their deaths.
How could you not know you were Beatrice's father?
I was a wild lad in my youth, and I spent a holiday when I was just turning 17 with a schoolmate in Ireland. And I met a young colleen there by the name of Mary Callahan from County Cork. And we had a wee fling. The summer before I went off to university in Switzerland. A year later, I returned home to find my parents had a brand new baby girl named Beatrice. I never knew she was my daughter till after I read that letter.
Why did they lie to you?
I'm sure they thought it was best for Beatrice. They explained in their letter that Mary had come to them, carrying our child. She was afraid to ask her own parents for help, and she didn't want to marry me. So my mother and father offered to see her through her pregnancy and adopt Beatrice for their own. Brian, it was my own guilty conscience that put me in such a rage when you asked me for Beatrice's hand. It was the same with Thomas Beaton. I thought of poor Mary Callahan and what I'd done to her, and I wanted to be sure that you truly loved Beatrice and would never treat her so.
Wow. What happened to Beatrice's mother?
Mary, she's still in County Cork where I met her. I see to it that she's well provided for, anonymously, of course.
So then the tea leaves spoke the truth.
What do you mean?
When I was in Scotland, Beatrice read my tea leaves. They said that I would live happily ever after with an Irish lass.
Well, she's half Irish at that. But she must never know that.
Wait a minute, you can't keep something like this from her now.
It was my parents' wish that she never be told she's illegitimate, and it is my wish as well.
Well, how am I supposed to marry her, keeping a secret like this between us?
You've no choice. You've given your word.
Okay, listen.
They're not at each other's throats.
Oh, not at all.
Hi. What are you doing here?
Well, Shannon came by the apartment and said you were here, and I was worried.
There's nothing to worry about, Duncan just gave us his blessing.
You did? Well, I don't understand. I mean, I'm very happy, but why were you so opposed a few hours ago?
I didn't lose it, Roy. It's here. Somewhere. Listen, anybody here from Margot? Oh, hang on. Listen, as soon as I find it, I'm out of here, okay? Oh, man. I need a shovel. Oh, come on, who said this place is a mess? It was here all the time. Yeah.
Hal, hi, it's Kim Hughes.
Oh, hi, Kim.
I just wanted to let you know that Margot got into town again last night and stopped by the house and ended up staying here overnight. She's still sound asleep.
Is she okay?
Well, I guess you have read John's report about my daughter, Sabrina. And it seems that John told Margot about his part in it last night. She's taking it very hard. I don't really know when she'll be in today.
You tell her to take the day off. I'm going to talk to McCloskey and cover for her.
Hal, thanks so much. I'll give her the message. Bye-bye.
Morning.
Hi, sweetheart. Where have you been?
I had breakfast with Grandmother in her flat, and we got to talking.
Oh.
Has Franny gone?
Yeah, she went on to class, and Margot's still sound asleep.
Is she all right? She seemed awfully upset last night.
Yeah, well, she had quite a bit on her mind, but I think she'll feel better today.
Grandmother's going to the hospital to help Ellen with the AIDS benefit. I'd like to go along, if that's all right with you.
Oh, of course it is. I'm so glad that you and Nancy are getting along so famously.
Hi.
Well, look at the sleepy head, huh?
Did I actually sleep till 10:30?
You certainly did. You obviously needed it. How about some coffee?
Oh, I'd kill for
I'll
it.
get it. Oh,
Thanks,
oh,
thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you. So, how do you feel?
Oh, I feel much better. I'm glad you talked me into taking that pill last night. I had the best night's sleep I had in years.
I called Hal for you. He said for you to take the day off and he will deal with McCloskey.
Now, that's a friend. Actually, I might take him up on it. I've got an appointment with Dr. Samuels this afternoon.
Listen, Sabrina has to go over. She's going to help Nancy and Ellen with the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind giving her a ride? I mean, give you two a chance to talk?
You know, that's not a bad idea. That's a very good idea. As a matter of fact, it couldn't possibly have made a very good impression on her last night, standing there with my mouth open, staring at her.
Well, she's used to that. In one way or another, her presence has been quite a shock to an awful lot of people. For something that happened so long ago, it's affected an awful lot of people's lives very deeply. I just can't believe John's part in all of this.
I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to look him in the face again. In all my years in the force, I think that's the ugliest story I've ever heard. And the fact that you were a part of it, my father, makes me sick to my stomach. You're going to have to live with this for the rest of your life.
John? I'm sorry, I don't mean to break into your reverie. It was just a simple question, that's all.
On what?
Where is my daughter? Have you seen my daughter, Sierra? I don't see why you're always so awful and unforthcoming with me. I am your benefactress.
Oh, I told you what I think about all that stuff already, didn't I?
Hello, I've been trying to reach you all day. Lucinda.
What's the matter?
I told you about the changes I need in my factory. Well, nothing's been done. I told you I needed them. I was promised them by this week.
Well, Tony, I was supposed to be attending to that.
When?
I don't know.
I need my factory showroom done.
You
by
will
next
have it,
show,
my darling.
Lucinda.
You will have it. I will look into the whole thing myself. You're not to worry one more moment.
Good. Thank you.
And since we're here alone, don't worry about the divorce, because Tonio's not going to contest it. There'll be nothing messy. Sierra will not name a correspondent.
Fine. My family's had enough of embarrassment for 1 week. I know.
I'm sorry. I just can't help it. The Hughes have an illegitimate daughter, 20-odd years old.
I would really appreciate it if you left this out of the City Times.
All right, darling.
Thank you.
What are friends for?
Thank you. I owe you one.
Yes, you do.
Talk to you later.
Yes, will. Well.
Oh, hello.
I was informed that Uncle Henry had died. I'm very sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. How's Lily doing?
She's doing just fine.
You know, actually, I was just thinking about you because I was looking through some grant research things, and I need to talk to you about a proposal that Dr. Stevenson needs.
Fine.
I'd like to talk to you about it sometime.
Fine. Call Jane, make
I
an
will.
appointment. Have you seen Craig?
No, why?
Well, I just thought that perhaps now that you're back, you might have time and you could keep him occupied so he'd stay out of Sierra's life. Hmm?
Oh. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for picking her up at Grandma's.
Oh, sure. I was awake anyway. And we had a big breakfast.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you eat a lot? A whole lot? Oh, you're such a good girl.
How are you feeling?
Been better. Spent most of the night waiting to hear from Steve.
I'll put you right here. I'll right there. You know, I was thinking, maybe he decided that Greece was a bad idea and he's decided to come back here. He could be on his way home.
I'd like to think about that, but I don't know. Listen, I'm just going to have a cup of coffee here, and I'll take you over to the hospital, okay?
No, well, Craig said for you not to go to work today.
Well, Sierra, I can't sit around here waiting for him to get in touch with me. I'll go crazy. I mean, my mind is playing all these tricks on me. He could be hurt somewhere. He could be injured. He could be... God knows where he could be. See? I'm sorry. I don't mean to dump all my problems on you all the time.
And don't be silly. You know, my shoulders are a little stronger than people around here seem to think. I mean, I'm the girl who lived through a revolution.
I know you're strong.
Well, then lean on me. Come on. You've been there for me so much.
I'll get it.
All right.
Hello? Oh, Steve, where are you? What's going on?
Betsy, I know that Steve's call upset you, but maybe this is all for the best.
Oh, quitting his job because he had a little disagreement with the foreman. I'm moving out of his uncle's house because he couldn't accept charity. It sounds much too familiar to me, Sierra.
Well, maybe this friend of his, the business in Corfu, maybe it'll lead to something better.
I remember him talking about this friend, Spiros. They got into a lot of trouble together before Steve moved to the States. It sounds to me like he's falling into all of his old destructive habits again. And all this talk about moving over there and building a new life. Danny and I were supposed to go in the spring, and now it's pushed back to the summer. And what is he doing to make any of that possible anyway?
Oh, I think we have a flat tire, Betsy.
This has been my lucky day.
What are you thinking about?
The wedding. And now that we have the blood test and the license, we have to start thinking about about a ceremony.
I've always dreamed of a really traditional ceremony. Do you mind?
No, that relieves me, actually. You know, other things we have to start thinking about, too, like where to live. Lisa and I had planned on turning the call house into a rehab center, but those plans can be changed if you'd like to live there.
Is it a big house?
Well, it's not a castle, but it is big.
I don't like big houses. Never have. I remember taking long walks with my Irish governess, Bridget, when I was little. I fell in love with this one thatched roof cottage where our tenant farmers lived. Beyond the meadows, beyond the manor house grounds. Smoke was always curling from the chimneys. Stone fences, sheep grazing, flowers. Oh, I always thought it would be so wonderful to live there instead of my very cold, ancestral home. But alas, I was born in McKechnie.
Well, the house my father built is nothing like your ancestral home, but I'd like to show it to you.
All right. And then I should get back to Duncan. He was in the strangest mood last night.
Yeah, we better get started.
This, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Hello, hi. Good. Hello, Maddie.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm all right. When'd you get back?
I just got back this morning.
How's Aunt Elizabeth?
She's okay, considering. Mama's going to stay a few extra days to help her find somebody to work on the farm.
Did she ever hear from that no-good son of hers?
Not yet, but the night of the funeral, we heard the barn door swinging in the wind, so I went out and I closed it. And then the next morning I went out to check. I found a sleeping bag rolled up, and so I assumed that Josh had been there, slept, and they split.
He probably doesn't have the nerve to face her after what he did to you.
Meg, I asked you not to talk about that
I'm not going
anymore,
to say anything
please.
to anybody. I've made a few mistakes in my life, and I certainly wouldn't want to be judged by them.
And I hope that you learn from them.
And I hope you've learned from yours.
Hi. Hi. Good to see you.
Two mulligan burgers with all the trimmings. And what do you have to drink?
Tea. 2.
Well, what did you say to Duncan to keep him from killing Brian?
Well, I had to come up with some good excuse for why I broke out into tears in Brian's office, and all I could think of was that I was still in love with Brian and that I was heartbroken now that he's going to marry Beatrice.
Well, what's the story? Are you?
No. And I love Brian, but I want him to be happy. So I am completely reconciled to it. And then I told Duncan that he would make me happy if he would give them his blessing, because then it would be final and I would have to accept it and I could go on to greener pastures or, you know, whatever. Well, aren't you going to eat your mulligan burger?
What did Duncan say to all this?
Well, he was très sympathique and very much calmer by the time Brian got there, but it's a strange thing, though.
What?
Well, I called him this morning, and he was very distant. I can't imagine why.
Betsy, I think that we should look for a phone and call an auto club or something like that.
They won't come. I let my membership expire. Clever move to try to save money.
Great.
Do you think this is our punishment for not picking up that hitchhiker
Yeah,
back there?
probably, Betsy. Here, let me help you.
No, that's all right. You got your good clothes on.
Oh, yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm not pregnant. Just, it's all right. Stand back. I can handle it.
Okay, sure, yeah, if I remember how to do this.
That goes underneath.
Yeah,
Don't now, but that hitchhiker we passed is right behind you.
Looks like you pretty ladies here have got yourselves a problem.
Well, what was your first clue?
This portion of As the World Turns has been brought to you today by Downy, the fabric softener that combines skin-loving softness with the airy April freshness you love. And by Pringles potato chips, regular, light, rippled Cheez-Ums, and sour cream and onion. We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
We really appreciate this. I hope you understand why I couldn't stop for you back there.
Oh, sure, it's not safe to pick up hitchhikers. I mean, it would have been in my case, but you never know. You want to sit in the car, ma'am? I'll be real careful finishing up.
Oh, that's okay. I like the fresh air.
be glad when it warms up some myself. Rough winter.
Well, where are you from?
Been working on a ranch out west.
Oh, I guess we should introduce ourselves. This is Sierra Reyes, and I'm Betsy Andropoulos.
Rod Landry, man.
So, where are you headed?
Next town on the pike.
Oh, well, that's Oakdale. That's where we're going. Listen, you're more than welcome to ride in with us if you like. You did get us rolling.
Sure. You recommend a doctor in town? I've got this ailment's been bugging me. I'd like to get it checked out.
Oh, well, this is your lucky day. Sierra's a medical student, and I just happen to be driving her to one of the best hospitals in the country.
Yep, and I'd be more than happy to recommend a doctor for you.
No kidding. Thanks. Guess this is my lucky day after all.
How was it to be back in Kansas?
It was all right.
Yeah? Well, I was worried about you out there, and it was the first time you were at that house since you ran away.
Well, I was a little worried about going back, but I think it helped me put a few things in perspective.
Like what?
Hi. Hello.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Good. What did Dr. Koba say?
You said I'm an incredible physical specimen. Actually, he said it would be fine.
Well, I still want you to stay at the Montgomery
Yeah, we'll see
Motel
about
for a
that,
while.
Speaking of the Montgomery Motel, how is my sister Meg behaving herself? Is something wrong?
No, nothing's...
Are you sure?
Is that Franny Hughes?
No. That's her sister. Well, actually,
What?
her half-sister. Her name is Sabrina Hughes.
Barbara, hello. Hello, Sabrina. What are you doing here?
I'm looking for Margot.
Margot.
Margot's out of town.
She got back yesterday.
Barbara, I realize I'm the cause of some awkwardness between you and my parents, but I'd like to think we could get by that and get to know one another.
Well, as I told your mother, it's going to take a long time before that happens. A long time.
Excuse me, Sabrina. Hi.
Hello, Mrs. Barbara. Hello, Lila.
What are you doing here?
Paul's in because of a pulled muscle.
Oh.
Excuse me. Nice to see both
Nice
of
to
you.
see you as well, Barbara.
How are you?
Fine.
Good.
Thank you.
Would you like to meet my son and his girlfriend?
That would be
Good.
lovely.
Go on over.
Oh, I've been looking for you. You have a phone call. You can take it right
Me?
outside.
Thank you.
Hello, you're just the person I wanted to see.
Why?
I was just talking to Craig and Lila, and I get the feeling that you are up to something.
What do you mean? That's ridiculous.
If you are up to something, I will find out about it.
Ooh, I'm so scared. See me shaking.
Hal, how did you find me here?
Barbara, I'm a detective. It wasn't that hard. Listen, I talked to Debbie at the shop, and she told me about Paul. How is he?
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. Just a pulled muscle. In fact, he's very upset with me for making him see the doctor. He called me overprotective.
Well, I told you got to watch that, Mommy. Listen, the reason that I am calling you is that I am up to my neck in work. I can't make dinner tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm still on for the game, though, and I'll tell you what, I will go home, I will shower, I'll change, and I'll pick you and Paul up around 7, okay?
Fine. Fine. We'll be ready. Bye.
Sabrina, good to see you.
I've been trying to call you all night.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mama. I stayed over at Kim's and Bob's last night.
How'd it go with John?
I can't believe that Bob and Kim can be so forgiving, you know? If he ever did that, I mean, if my child...
Yeah. Okay, now, Sabrina's right over there, and Iva's come back. We'll talk about it later, okay? Why don't you say hello?
Hi.
Hi. What Dr. Goodwin say?
Oh, I'm fine. I just gotta take it easy for a couple days.
Good. Glad to hear that. Listen, Hal called, and he's very sorry, but he can't take us out to dinner. But I've got an idea. You want to help? Come on, let me tell you all about it.
Iva, I'm very sorry to hear about your uncle.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sabrina, we should probably go get Nancy, okay?
Oh, yes.
Goodbye, you all.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you. Hope to see you around.
Bye. Bye. Hello, Dr. Dixon.
Hi,
Sabrina, why don't you go on ahead?
Talk to me.
No.
Come talk.
I've heard your side of the story, John. And I've heard Kim's side of the story. I'm ashamed you're my father.
Ah, my sweet little butterfly. Time to give you your wings. No, Charles, I still don't know who planted the bug on the phone, but I've got George keeping his eye out for any unwanted intruders. Listen, I'll need you to come back here and help me out with operations. Well, I'll be busy with Beatrice's wedding plans. To Brian McCall. Aye, McCall. Right, Jar. I'll see you then. I won't be manipulated, lassie. You brought me over here just as a ruse to get me away from Brian.
No, I didn't.
Well, then, you gonna tell me why you were crying?
Well, isn't it obvious?
If it were obvious, I wouldn't be asking.
Well, I'm still in love with Brian. Duncan, it's a wedding, not a funeral. Don't look so gloomy.
Well, what are you doing here?
She was worried about you.
Oh, are you?
Yes, you sounded so miserable on the phone. I thought you were going to throw yourself off a parapet.
Oh, well, there's no fear of that.
Well, I'm relieved to hear it. But you have to admit you have been kind of moody lately. Is it because of Beatrice and Brian?
I suppose.
Ah, well, try to be happy for them, okay? I'm very glad you gave them your blessing.
Are you?
Yes, of course.
Is Beatrice around? I'd like to congratulate her.
No, she's on the mainland with Brian.
Oh, well, that's just as well. We can do a little planning behind their backs. Think Beatrice would like a shower? A little soap and water, you know? No, a bridal shower. It's a party where the bride-to-be gets showered with gifts. I'd love to throw one for Beatrice.
Oh, you would?
Absolument, mon cher. I want everything to be perfect for her.
Don't you think it's a bit masochistic for you to want to throw a party for Beatrice?
Oh, because I lost Brian to her?
Exactly.
No, Duncan. Despite my broken heart, what I told you last night is that this is all for the best. And besides, after all, I don't want any commitments. I don't want anything to tie me down. I don't want love, footloose and fancy-free. That's me.
Well, if that's the life you want for yourself, I'm sure that's the life you'll have. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to. I'm sure I don't need to show you out.
No, of course not.
Duncan, would you send my love to Beatrice and tell her that I'm very, very happy for her?
Aye. And I'll send your love to Brian, Shannon.
Hello?
Hello, Kim, it's John. Is Andrew there?
No, he's not. He had a swim meet after school. Why?
Why? Since when do I need a special reason to talk to my son?
Well, you don't. I just wondered what was up.
I picked up a couple of tickets to the hockey game this evening. I'd like to take Andrew with me. That is, if you have no objections.
John, why is it you have to turn a simple request into a challenge?
Do I sound angry? I am a little bit testy. I suppose it's because I'm having a lot of trouble at the moment keeping both my kids in my life.
Are you talking about Margot?
Yeah, I'm talking about Margot.
Listen, I had nothing to do with Margot's reaction to what you've done. I'm sorry that she's taking it so hard.
Is that right? Or do you think it's some kind of poetic justice that I'm going to lose my daughter here?
John, maybe we'd better stop playing this before it goes any further. What time is the game?
You tell Andrew I'll pick him up about 7.
All right, I'll let him know when he gets home, but it's school night. I'd like him home early.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
So, how did it go today?
Oh, very well. Actually, Grandmother and I helped Ellen with a mailing list.
Oh, great. What about you? How's Dr. Samuels?
Everything went as expected.
Good. I thought you were going to stay for dinner.
I just wanted to run by the station and check in, you know, thank Hal for covering for me.
Oh, there's my little sweetie pie. I'll be right back. He's probably hungry or wet or something.
Well, thank you for the ride, Margot, and thank you for the talk.
Of course, yes, absolutely.
I heard about your recent loss. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Sabrina. You know, you, Bob, and Kim are very lucky to have found each other. I know they both suffered a terrible loss when you were born. But you've got each other again. It's very lucky.
at John. Why do you think? Why is he so rude? Why is he so rude to me after what I did for him? I saved that scrawny neck.
I'm sure he's grateful.
Yeah, he's grateful in the way he's usually grateful, which means not a jot, not a tittle. Well, darling, are you going to come home? Are you going to eat food with me and the new cook?
I would love to, but I'm staying with Betsy. In fact, she got some bad news from Steve, and she needs a friend right now.
So you're it. Craig's busy with Miss Snyder, I guess.
Mother, I feel I owe it to her. Since Walsh Enterprises did destroy
Wait, what
her
did I
life...
hear? I just heard Walsh Enterprises. Now, darling, Walsh Enterprises. Please, what is this? I mean, aren't we trying to get along better and have a better relationship? So then why do you make cracks about it?
I'm only trying to explain myself, that's all.
Well, me. Am I not trying? Am I not trying to be wonderful? Have I said in the last 20 minutes that you must forget about the divorce to Tonio?
No, you haven't. I'm amazed and grateful.
I only want you to be happy.
Mother, with this new you, where does this leave Tonio with Walsh Enterprises?
Walsh Enterprises? Well, I'll think about Tonio and Walsh Enterprises, darling. Come home and eat.
Dr. Dixon.
Yeah, hi. How you doing? How'd it work out?
Good. Doc Fielding says I'm going to be all right.
Oh, that's good. Good.
Thanks for recommending him.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, really, you ought to thank the young woman in the white coat over there. She was the one who did all this.
Oh, yeah, her too.
Take care.
He left.
Excuse me. I just wanted to thank you again for bringing me here and steering me to the right people.
Oh, sure, no problem. I hope everything worked out.
Yeah, it's fine. Thank your friend again for the lift into town. What was her name?
Betsy Andropoulos.
Right, Betsy. Thanks again.
Sure.
Who's that?
Betsy and I had a flat this morning. Mother, he's a hitchhiker. He was a hitchhiker. He fixed a spare.
What? Yes?
Nothing. We gave him a lift.
Why did he want to come right here to the hospital?
I don't know. I didn't quiz him. He's a quiet type.
Hi, Hal. This got to be the wrong apartment.
Hal? Oh, I'm glad your home dinner's almost ready.
Now I'm hallucinating.
There's a wonderful, wonderful beef bourguignon in the oven. It's almost ready. I hope you don't mind, Paul, and I just wanted to surprise you a little bit.
How'd you get in?
Oh, well, I went to your super. He's a very, very nice man, and I talked to him, and I told him the whole situation, and, well, he saw Paul, and so I think he really believed that I was on the up and up.
This place was a mess when I left here this morning.
Yes, it was, and while I was waiting, well, I just tidied up a bit.
You didn't tidy up, you renovated. I hope I can find everything. What happened here?
Come in.
What happened to all my things, you know?
What things?
I had, like, things all over the place.
You're telling me.
Yeah, but I knew where all my things were.
Well, I guess what you're going to have to do is keep me around for a guide. Hal, something wrong?
Well, how many people would you like to invite? I'll fly friends in from Scotland, whatever you like.
You don't have to do that, Duncan.
Oh, Lassie, I want your wedding day to be perfect.
It already is perfect because you gave us your blessing. You're the best and dearest big brother in the world.
Well, I've some matters to attend to. Listen, I brought up a box of some of the things you didn't want me to send to Edinburgh. Maybe you'd like to sort through it again.
All right. Thanks. Well, he's really come round.
Yeah, and don't look so worried.
I'm not.
We've still got lots of plans to make now that we've reserved the wedding chapel.
Like what?
Like, where would you like to have a wedding reception? Mona Lisa?
Oh, well, that's lovely. It would be very elegant. But you know what I'd really like?
What?
I would like to have it at Mulligan's Pub. Since that's where Duncan first gave us our blessing, I think of it as sort of a lucky place.
Mulligan's Pub it is. You know, you're more superstitious than I realized. Lucky places, tea leaves.
I do believe in tea leaves. They've never lied to me. That's why I can't understand their being wrong this one time. There's a shamrock where the heart lies. That usually means you live happily ever after with an Irish lass.
I'll find happiness with you. Because I finally found someone who loves me as much as I love them.
Hmm.
You believe that, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I should look through these. Oh, if you remember, you and Shannon gave me this for Christmas. Whew, so much has happened since then.
All of it good.
Do you really think Duncan's happy for us?
Yes, why?
There's something still bothering him. I wish I knew what it was. My brother is so full of secrets. I've lived all my life with them. Promise we won't have any. Secrets, that is. There's nothing you could ever tell me that I wouldn't understand.
No. You know why? Why the blades are in last place?
It's because Lafite hurt his ankle.
No. It's because they put everything on him. You can't put everything on the goalie. You gotta have an offense.
Offense. I'll remember that.
Can I check out what's on TV?
Yeah, sure. The listing's on the desk there. Is this a cold beer? I thought I was out.
Oh, I picked up a six-pack.
You are really something else.
Am I?
Yeah. Thanks again for everything.
I have a feeling that I brought up some painful memories for you earlier.
How'd you know?
Oh, I read you pretty well. You were thinking about Denise.
Yeah, I was. I'm not now. I better go take that shower. I'll be about 10 minutes, okay?
Okay.
I'll get it.
Betsy, come on. It's just a couple more months. You'll all be together.
Right. If Steve can get another job by then, and if he can get settled, and if we can raise enough money to get ourselves over there.
All right, look, you know I'm not looking forward to you and Danny leaving town, okay? But it'll help the cause. I got the cash. I'll send you over there sooner.
Oh, Craig, that's so sweet of you, but, you know, Steve won't accept it.
You just remember the money's there for you, if you want it.
How's Iva?
You're too much. She's fine. She's in the living room talking to Meg.
I bet you're glad to have her back.
Yeah. Look, Bets, I'm going to be coming into the office, like, tomorrow or the next day, okay? All right. You too. Good night.
So what are we going to do for dinner? Casey's got the graveyard shift.
Wait a minute. Meg, you mean to tell me that you are staying in tonight?
It looks like it.
Listen, I want to talk to you, and there's something I want to say to you, and I'm not quite sure how to do it. Something my mother said that really concerns me, and it's something I want to warn you about.
Warn me about what?
I want to warn you about your relationship with Tony Reyes.
What relationship?
They're two of the toughest detectives on the streets, and these ladies don't let anything get in their way. Cagney and Lacey, Monday nights at 9 on KOTV, Channel 6. By Christie Brothers. Join us tomorrow for As the World Turns.